Hey guys, hope you're all doing awesome. I'm Brandon and welcome to B&B lesson number 6. Today's topic is called Make War. I know it's a different scenery. You can see my room this time. I just kind of wanted to be closer to the camera. Hope that's okay with y'all. Now, I was thinking about this lesson a couple weeks now, 3 or 4 weeks, and it kind of came up based on a song called Tadashi called Make War. He's a rapper, and so I don't know, that song really got me thinking about how the Christian life can be viewed as a fight, which is a less common way to view it, but it's obviously still a way to view it. So you can see the Christian life as a community, obviously as a family. You can see it as evangelism, all great things, of course, all things I believe, but one that's really not thought about as much is the Christian life as a fight, as war, and that's because people are scared of that view of Christianity. They want to be safe. They want to just be able to rest in God's presence and just kind of relax, but to be honest, that's not really the way it works. I believe that when we're with God, it's not the safest place, it's just the most glorious place to be. And so that's something that a lot of Christians are kind of scared of, but it's something that has to be addressed, because with the Christian life as a fight, that fight is against sin, and it's against temptation, and it's against Satan. And if we refuse to fight that fight, then Satan's just going to be waiting. When we finally start to focus on the sin in our lives as the Christian life, the life of a Christian looks a lot more severe. And this part of the Christian life is usually hidden because people are too scared to admit their mistakes with other people. That's why the church a lot of the time looks all righteous and hypocritical, because people act like they're perfect at the church sometimes, but outside of the church they're completely broken. And honestly, it's okay to be broken, it's okay to be messed up, because God has grace. So I wanted to read a Bible verse, and this is from 1 Peter 5:8. 1 Peter 5:8 says, "Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy the devil prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour." And that's just, Satan is always waiting. He's waiting at your doorstep, you could say. And I've come to really experience this in my own life. Temptation hits hard. Like in the morning, I'll wake up. I usually read my Bible. I go to school, but Satan always gets me at the weakest point in my day, because he knows, he's clever. If you've never read the books, the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis, I suggest reading it. It's basically about demons. And it's written in the perspective of demons and how they how they try and deceive us. And it's kind of crazy to think about that Satan wants you to stumble, and he's waiting. He's waiting to get you at the right time. And it is, when he hits you hard, sometimes it is really, really hard to fight back. And sometimes we don't. We just give in. And that's the problem, is that we're not willing to admit, even to God sometimes, that we've screwed up, because we're just scared of the consequences. We're scared to tell other people too. We need to be ready to meet Satan with war. We need to be able to resist and fight back, and that's something that I've struggled with, that everyone has struggled with. But when we finally do it, when we finally fight back, it can make a difference. It can really change our lives. We'll be able to take grace, and we'll be able to let it really move in our lives. And so this kind of goes back to my last lesson, the one about weakness. Basically, if we want to overcome temptation, if we want to overcome sin, we have to admit our weakness first. We have to admit our weakness to God and to people that are accountable for you. We need to admit that we're weak in order to be strong, because we can't just do it on our own. We can't say, "Oh, I'll just stop, I'll resist, don't worry." No, we have to say, "Okay, I've been trying, I can't. God, I need you." We need to let the Bible change the way we look at things. And once we finally dig in a little deeper, once we begin to fight more with God on our side, we'll be able to look at the temptation and then look at God and say, "God, you're better, and I don't need this in my life." When we get to that point, guys, everything changes. I think a big problem is, a big misconception, as I kind of talked about earlier, was that a lot of Christians think, "Oh, well, once I'm with God, I'm safe. I can just kind of relax. I can be lazy. I can just enjoy my life." Yes, it's great to enjoy your life. If you're supposed to enjoy your life, you're supposed to be happy and joyful. But we're not supposed to be lazy. We're not supposed to sit back and enjoy the ride, because that's when Satan is the strongest. It's when we're tired, it's when we're not thinking, it's when we're distracted, it's when we're emotionally not stable. Satan will plant little triggers in your head to make you give in to his temptation. But the thing is, we're not called to be lazy. We're called to stand up and fight for what we believe. We're called to look at Satan and say, I don't need you. Jesus died on the cross so that we could have grace, so that we could be forgiven and we could be changed by that, because we sin, because we're not perfect, but he was, and that's the difference. But we have to take God's hand and just trust in him and fight for him. We have to be able to say no to Satan and yes to Jesus. And guys, this is the best part of it. When we finally do that, when we finally stop being lazy, when we finally are able to look at the Christian life as war sometimes, when we're finally able to face temptation head on, we will have freedom. And we will not be slaves to the things of this world anymore that are so dry, things that are not worth it. They promise so much, but they give so little. You might think it's good for a moment, but it's only temporary. James 4:7 says, submit yourselves then to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. That's God's promise to you. It's his promise to me. We can trust that when we resist the devil, when we have God on our side, when we fight back, he will flee from us and we will be set free from the sin. Okay guys, thanks for watching that video. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be in Progresso next week, so be ready for that vlog. It's going to be pretty awesome. We're going to be on a mission trip there, and we're going to have a great time. So we'll be able to film some of it at least. We'll do our best to get good footage, and we'll see you next week.